happy that you popping and they stopping. You can't happy that you packing and they lacking. You can't happy that you great and they late. You happy and they crappy. Ain't got nothing to do with you. That's a damn problem. That's a damn problem. That's a damn problem. Ain't got nothing to do with you. That's a damn problem. That's a damn problem. That's a damn problem. Ain't got nothing to do with you. That's a damn problem. Love you, bye.
Alright, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you to those of you who have just subscribed. Welcome, and hopefully you liking the vibes. So this week we're gonna be what to watch Wednesday. Okay, so this week is late, but it's still getting put out there. And the series is on Netflix. It just came out this year, and it's called The 7 Lives of Lèa. One thing I do want to say about this one is, I'm not gonna say I don't recommend it or recommend that you watch it if you have children. I would just say be cautious, because there are some scenes that are inappropriate for children. So either you're gonna have to watch it around just yourself or just be mindful of when those parts come up. Keep the remote close so you can fast forward. It is in French originally, but I mean, I don't know. A lot of these series on Netflix, like, you kind of, sometimes you can't tell they're speaking a different language or whatever, because it's in English. So y'all don't have to worry about that. It's definitely in English, or else I wouldn't have been able to watch it, because I'm not gonna do subtitles for the whole time. Not with this one. But yeah, so like I said, it was released this year. It says, after finding a young man's remains, Lèa wakes up in the 90s and body swaps 7 times as she tries to solve the mystery of his death and prevent it. So this series has a lot of twists and turns, but it keeps everything like exciting and interesting. It's actually a pretty good series, for real. I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't recommend it. I'm finna go, I was on the Netflix site, so I'm finna go to the IMDb site. And no, I'm not sponsored by any of these places yet. Okay. Hold on. I was in here, but okay, so on IMDb, it's got a TVMA rating, so I should have said that in the beginning. But my bad, y'all. I'm trying to find what I found earlier, but it's just not. Like, as far as what it's labeled. Okay, so it's labeled as, well, categories. It falls into crime, drama, and fantasy. So overall, to be honest, which it does fall into each of those categories, because as the description stated, Lèa is a teenage girl she ends up waking up, well, she ends up stumbling upon the remains of a teenage boy. So from that point on, that's when stuff kind of gets a little shaky, but it starts to get really, 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 really good. I don't want to give too many spoilers, if any. What I will say is that if you're into stuff that deals with like time travel, as well as criminal investigative, like stuff like that, then you're gonna enjoy this one. And with the 90s twist, how she ends up going back to the 90s on multiple occasions, like that was one of the dopest parts, because the 90s was one like the greatest eras, for real. Like nobody can deny that. Nobody. What's up? My bad, y'all. Okay, so yeah, 90s was like the best. So that twist was definitely like, that's kind of for me what made it more enjoyable, because I love the 90s. Outside of that, as she's like bouncing in and out of these I guess you could say in and out of these timelines, as she's been, if you know anything about time travel, then you know that whenever you go back in time, something changes in the future. So with this particular series, it's not so much as things, well, no, yeah, they did change. I was thinking they didn't because of like different scenes and stuff, but they did change. Some things weren't as drastic as others. Like the most drastic thing I could tell y'all, that was the biggest twist of all for me. Jaw dropping. I'm not gonna spoil it. I definitely feel like y'all should go check this one out without me giving too much away. But throughout this journey, she has to kind of take a look at her own life, and with that comes tons of questions, tons of realizations, like even about her parents. And one thing right here, we're gonna just do a shameless plug. It definitely kind of ties into what I'm gonna get into on my podcast. So I'm gonna link that below. But ultimately, like, it makes you question, like, in the real world, it makes you question, like, if you could go back in time, would you? What time period would you go to? If you had a choice, like, would you choose to partake in your parents' lives, like, before they had you? You know what I'm saying? Like, would you choose to see what led them to having you, how they got together and stuff? Like, it makes you ask a lot of questions. Well, it made me ask a lot of questions. Like, that was one of the dopest parts. As far as the mystery part, the twists and turns with that was dope. As far as the plot of it all, like, it was dope. So that's really all I'm gonna say, because I feel like I'm gonna start letting out like bits and pieces, and that's gonna like spoil it for y'all. But like I said, it's called The 7 Lives of Lèa. It's on Netflix. I'm still gonna link the stuff, my Amazon stuff, below, because it's back to school time, and who doesn't want to like save on stuff when they can? But yeah, that's all for this week, y'all. The next what to watch, I'll talk about something where I could drop some, some gems and stuff like that, because it should be something that people have watched. This is new, so I don't want to give y'all too many gems away, or too many, you know what I'm saying? Just to keep it interesting. But yeah, definitely go check that out. Thank y'all for those of you who are returning watchers. Thank you for my new subscribers. stay tuned, man. Like, we got nothing but good stuff ahead. So I will catch y'all in the next one.